Hello, everyone. Cathy here. It's a while. It's been a while, and it's an extra today. So we'll get right into it. Cathy here. You're a wellness coach and fellow female activist. But I am talking today about three different topics, and they're all very, very current. And it's something that you can take part in. So listen up, the 90 million who did not vote in the 2024 elections. So, three different topics. Okay, so you can see my screen already. I'm sharing it. And right now I'm on Indivisible, okay, Indivisible 2026.org, but it's really just indivisible.org, but I'm already on the page that I want to share everyone. So again, three topics. The first one is after the massive debacle, okay, that debacle that was the supposedly only eight, okay, senators defecting and killing 51,000 US citizens a year now because they decided to cave. Let's be very honest here. If you haven't heard the latest, okay, this was coordinated, okay? No matter what you may want to think or not think about any politician, because of dark money, okay, in 2010, Citizens United pretty much let the floodgates open to basically making a corporation a person who now can lobby and basically vote with their money how they want legislation, and rather how they want the legislators to act. So let's be very clear. While Schumer, uh, you know, whatever you can say about him, he knew, okay, what was happening. He knew that, and I would pretty much say that every senator knew what was going to happen. And that's pathetic. Okay, so regardless if they take PAC money or not, it does not matter. They all knew, more than likely, what was going down, and they let it happen. And so now, this is why it is on. Okay, so be very aware. Even if your Democratic senator voted no, like my two did, okay, I have two Dem senators from Arizona. Guess what? They voted no, but they damn well knew that those eight people were going to vote no, and they were okay with it. Why? Because they have yet to say a damn thing about making Schumer pay for it, meaning they all need to vote now to find a new minority leader. Okay, so if you're not aware how both of the Congress chambers work, they have leaders. Okay, so you're either in the majority, right? Which all of MAGA is in the majority right now in both chambers. So they are the majority. They have a majority leader and then a whip or whatever. So they have like a first and a second person. They're the ones that basically make sure that the caucus stays together. Then you have obviously those who don't have the power, i.e., the minority, okay, caucus. Schumer has been, since forever, the leader of the Senate caucus, okay, the Senate Dem caucus. He knew damn well who was going to vote where, and he could have cared less as long as he has his cushy job. So now that we are in fascism, which no one seems to realize in the Senate, apparently, that we are in fascism, they're okay with people starving. They're okay with everything else. I can go on and on. So again, even if you had a Dem senator, they damn well knew what was happening and they let it happen anyway. So them voting no was only because they didn't get the short end, the short stick, because the eight that voted yes did so because they were quote unquote safe. They're either retiring because they've been in their seat way too damn long, or two, they're not up for re-election anytime soon. So with that, now finally, people are realizing that being a centrist Dem really doesn't amount to anything other than you're basically just like everyone else who is bought by the lobbyists. Okay. So people are waking up. All right. So this indivisible campaign is perfect because what it means is that unless your Dem senator calls for an immediate vote to find a new minority leader, okay, for the Senate caucus of Dems, okay, in the Senate, then they are complicit and they were okay with how this all went down, okay? So let's review here. 8 senators, one was an independent, yeah, one at least was an independent, the others were Dems, but they voted yes for this CR, this continuing resolution that basically is going to let people die because they won't be able to afford health care through the ACA anymore. They did so knowingly, okay? And so did all the other senators who voted no. They did not care. Instead of keeping with the shutdown, okay, reminding you the shutdown ended only because those 8 senators capitulated and voted yes to reopen the government. The Dem messaging was finally working and they screwed it up like royally. Imagine if you're in poker, okay, and you have a royal flush. You have the best, okay, if I'm remembering correctly. I haven't played poker in many years. A royal flush means that you have every single winning card, basically. That hand cannot be won. You have won every other player's cards. We had that. And then because Schumer could care less about obviously his constituents and all of the other uh, citizens in the US said, oh, we can go ahead and F everyone. We'll just go ahead and stop the shutdown because our pesky airlines who donate a lot to us are pissed. We don't want to have people stranded and not being able to get on a flight for the holidays. And I'll get to that later. But let's just say this was all orchestrated, okay? They wanted to make sure that Dems won. For what reason, I don't know, but they wanted to make sure that those elections went off as well as they did. And by golly, they did. And then what do they do? Yeah. So let's just say that it's way more than time. I'm a progressive. I didn't think of myself as progressive, but I've been progressive for a very long time, just not in name, okay? So this is something you want to think about. They are launching, Indivisible is launching the largest Democratic primary program, okay, in Indivisible's history. But needless to say, it's going to happen. So again, you can call, you can, go ahead and take the pledge to come on board. But basically, all you need to do, and I'm just showing you this so you know what we're talking about, all you need to do is call your senator daily, daily, and ask them if in fact you voted no, why have you not then demanded that there be a Democratic vote to find a new minority leader? That's all you have to ask. That's all you have to say. By golly, if they can't give you an answer, then that tells you right there. Oh, yeah, primary time. So, to the named Arizona senators, Senators Gallego and Kelly, I'm asking you to point out, why haven't you asked for Schumer to step down? Please, we're waiting. I'm waiting. We need this to happen, all right? Because we have no problem finding primary opposers for you. Okay? Yeah. So, anyone who wants to fight fascism, this is what you get to do. This is an easy left, all right? This is super easy. I am not one to say that if you don't want to be Democrat anymore, I can't stop you, right? But just remember that it is at least the Democrats who have wanted to keep supposedly democracy. Now, of course, we're in fascism now, and actually the ACLU calls it a competitive authoritarianism. Okay, so we no longer are living in the moment January 20th, 2025 happened, and that person, that it was once again elected. I can also say at least that me, myself, and I will go down in history knowing that I was not stupid enough to ever fall for lie after lie after lie. Thank you very much. Um, with that said, um, understand, okay, that we are in We are no longer in a democratic republic, okay? The moment people were being ridiculed for free speech, the minute you started to fear saying something against the regime, that means you're not in a democracy anymore. So the only reason why we still have elections, okay, is simply because we're fighting back. Not everyone has capitulated despite what the regime wants you to think. So, point number one, get on board with the biggest Democratic primary that's going to come next year. If your senator does, and again, assuming that they're Dems, if they do not call for the, again, either resignation, I totally want him just to go away. But if Schumer does not step down on his own as leader, the minority leader, then he needs to be forced out. Okay, there you go. So that was part number one. Get Schumer out of the minority leadership. All right. So now we're moving on to number two. So what's coming up? Oh, well, not that it matters because most people are barely going to be able to even eat, not let alone put out a whole special meal for a holiday that's coming up. Don't get me started on what holiday is coming up anyway. But I digress. So what you're seeing here is actually my I didn't want to just put stuff out there, but this is in fact going to be happening during the holidays. So this is what we call um, democracy. Basically, it's a boycott. Okay. I thought that it was Indivisible who put this out, but anyway, this is going to be a national boycott. Okay. So it is from the dates November 25th, okay, through at least December 2nd. I actually, and I believe that's Cyber Monday, right? But I actually saw another, and that's why I use this instead of going to what I saw earlier. Another post I saw showed actually December 5th being the last day. Either way, as long as it's past Cyber Monday or Cyber Tuesday, whatever it is, I even forget because I haven't participated in this type of stuff for years. But basically, you're boycotting, okay? Unless it's a local business, okay? By all means, if you have a local business that is supporting, right, fighting, standing up to fascism, then by all means, shop locally during that week. But if at all possible, between again November 25th, okay, through December 2nd at least, no shopping at any major retailer. That means no eating at a restaurant. Again, unless it's local, that's not buying anything, assuming again that it's not local. And think about, again, bringing back that idea of a holiday for what it is. It's supposed to be about community, it's supposed to be about family, right? Maybe don't shop at all. And if you do shop, think about handcrafted gifts. Think about, again, gifts that you can, as a family, create together and then give away. My sister, in fact, is going to stay away from any shopping, theoretically, and she's going to give like either baked goods, okay, as gifts, and or maybe some crafts, right? But that's a big deal, okay? So enjoy the holidays for once, really, right? If you in fact celebrate any holiday, just prepare, okay, and get all whatever spending you're going to get done, and that includes gas actually, right? If you can, fill up your tank on November 24th. Do the best you can not to drive so much, right? And make that stretch until, and I know some people, again, you can't, but this is important. If you remember, not too long ago, right? Disney had to repent, not because they wanted to do the right thing, mind you. No, no, no. They were forced to bring back Jimmy Kimmel, okay? Simply because of the protesting. Disney got clobbered in less than 5 days. I think it was even less than 4 days. They lost $4 billion. Why? Because freaking everyone boycotted Disney Plus. They canceled subscriptions. They canceled vacations. Can you imagine that they've probably been planning for years? They canceled everything. And what happened? Democracy won. Okay, a little battle there because Jimmy Kimmel was again added to the air. So boycotts work. And next week, it turns out that the unionized um, baristas that are at different locations around the nation for Starbucks, they're going to protest next week. So they're going on strike. Yeah. So buy as much Starbucks as you need because come whenever they start this strike next week, it's during the Red Cup sale, right? So whatever that means. I don't drink coffee, so sorry. But again, boycotting works. And this is how we stop the horrible, horrible things that are happening, okay? Because it is capitalism, which is basically just another way to say white supremacy, okay, quite literally. But capitalism is one of the major reasons why we're here, okay, in this moment of competitive authoritarianism. So, again, November 25th, at least until December 2nd, stay away from major retailers, major restaurants, anything you can think of. If you're going to buy anything, make sure it's local, okay, and or obviously do your best not to spend any money, all right? And enjoy the holidays for once, right? I mean, goodness, instead of freaking going into debt for no reason other than to give money to CEOs who could care less about you, right? And their employees, enjoy the holidays. Okay, so final point here is I am a part of OmniSam. Okay, OmniSam is my mentor's agency, basically. I recently finally completed switching my what used to be URL domain with GoDaddy. And why did I change? I'll get to that. But this is how we resist, right? With our dollars. So I originally had my domain name with GoDaddy, registered with GoDaddy, right? I have since now switched it to, oh my goodness, sorry about that, to OmniSam. So you can go straight to OmniSam, tell them I sent you, and you can switch from GoDaddy, okay, and then switch to, they are a wholesaler, right, of basically they can host domains now, okay. Why did I do that? Because when I went to that wonderful website, the app goodsunitas.com, goodsunitas.com, I found out that GoDaddy spent a lot of freaking money and gave it to the MAGA regime in the last election cycle, in 2024, rather. So I was like, oh, no, no, that's not good. I am going to say no to fascism and give them the finger the best I can. And that meant finding another host that was more neutral, let's say. So I went completely out of the country. I now have my domain name with OmniSam. And that should teach you something. I did the same with UPS. Okay. I used to have my business. And again, this is not fun. Okay. Because anything to do with your business, whenever you make changes, it's a pain in the butt. It is, time and money sometimes. Funny enough, I'm actually saving more money now. But I previously, and I talked about it, I previously changed what used to be my business physical / mailing address, right? From a UPS mailbox, because again, they gave majority of their donations to MAGA. I changed it to a different company and I am saving money now. Okay. It's possible. It's slow, unfortunately, but it is possible to divest, okay, from the wheel that is feeding fascism. But you get to be intentional about it. Again, I didn't want to switch. It was fine. I wasn't, it was no big deal. But when I found out that most of UPS's donations went to MAGA, I was like, oh, hell no, that is not happening. Not on my dime. Same with, again, my URL. So wherever I find myself having renewals come up, right? I'm looking first at that goodsunitas.com to find out if that company, right? Whoever they, decide to donate to. I am happy to report that Zoom, by the way, did not donate apparently to any political party. That's what we want. We want no such corporate. Now, again, Their employees can obviously on their own donate to whoever the hell they want. But as a corporation, i.e., now that corporations are people, according to Citizens United back in 2010, they can donate as much as they want. Really? So again, Zoom, who I'm recording this on right now, good for you for staying neutral. Um, with that, I think that's all. This is a long one, but I wanted to put these out there because one, they're timely, right? Right now, you need to ask your senators, again, recap, ask your senator, assuming that they're Dems, are you calling for a vote to make Schumer step down from minority leadership? Number two point, by golly, do yourself a favor and enjoy the last week of November simply by staying away from all the money grabbing corporate greed. Stay away from it. And then number three, by golly, I know you can. If you have a URL for any reason, think about switching it and then go to OmniSam. It'll be cheaper because their exchange rate is in the US dollar favor, at least for now. How much longer? I don't know. As we lose, as the US dollar is not going to be the standard much longer, I'm sure. But needless to say, I'm actually saving money because of the changes I've made. All right. So with that, I appreciate you. Um, again, get in the spirit and enjoy the holidays instead of being a slave to capitalism. Be with the ones you love and just enjoy the time. All right. Until next time, take care, take charge. God bless.